We have multiple NHL trades to discuss, both involving the Montreal Canadiens, and both will alter the way their blue line looks. We'll get into all the details coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some breaking news from the NHL. We have two trades to discuss, both involving the Montreal Canadiens, and both trades impact the look of their blue line. First that was announced was a trade between division rivals, the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators, with the Habs sending left shot defenseman Mike Reilly to the Senators in exchange for forward Andrew Sturz and a 2021 fifth round selection. Now, Mike Reilly is still relatively young, 26 years old, started his NHL career with the Minnesota Wild after coming through the U.S. collegiate hockey system, and then was traded over to the Habs for a 2019 fifth round pick back a few years ago. Of course, Reilly's kind of struggled to become a really solid member of the top four in Montreal. Didn't really pan out exactly what they were hoping for, but for a small price to pay, certainly his time there wasn't too bad. Of course, he signed this year and next at $1.5 million. So he still has another year left on his contract. Now, in the case of the Senators, they've certainly had a battered and bruised up blue line for a big part of the year. It's been rumored for some time that they're looking to add a defenseman, likely somebody with a bit of experience, to probably give their younger defensemen some more time to develop without putting too much pressure on them. So certainly, it doesn't come as a huge shock that this kind of deal would be the type of trade that the Senators were looking for, although Reilly wasn't really a guy that I've seen on their radar. But either way, I guess the deal kind of makes sense from both sides. From the Habs perspective, they get to shed some salary, which leads us to their next move. Now, the Montreal Canadiens have swapped another trade here with another division rival, the Buffalo Sabres, picking up veteran defenseman Marco Scandella. Now, Scandella, of course, is on an expiring contract. He's a pending unrestricted free agent. He's making $4 million, so that the salary shedded by Reilly's contract will certainly help. That puts them up $2.5 million in their overall salary cap situation. Going over to the Buffalo Sabres will be a 2020 fourth round selection that the Montreal Canadiens currently hold, but originally belonged to the San Jose Sharks. Now, given the position of the Sharks in the standings, that pick very well could be a high fourth round selection unless things turn around for San Jose. So overall here, the Habs have changed the look of their blue line. They've swapped out Mike Reilly, goes to Ottawa. They pick up Andrew Sturz. He's an undrafted forward who's been playing in the AHL and ECHL over the last couple of seasons. Hard to say if he'll end up being an NHL player. At this point, I believe he's 25 or 26 years old. Hasn't played any NHL games as of yet, so the odds are pretty small. It's really just a matter of them taking on a contract, and then they turn around and get Scandella, who's going to certainly provide some much more needed experience, bit of an upgrade over Reilly in my opinion, but it's not a player that they have to be committed to longer term. So obviously Montreal gets to upgrade their blue line, try to make a push for a playoff spot, which is certainly going to be a bit of a challenge now, especially given all the injuries that they're facing. And then obviously they don't have to commit to him beyond the year, but if things work out, they could certainly consider re-signing him longer term depending on how everything works out for the rest of the season. Now, of course, in Montreal's case, they're battling a lot of injuries. They have four forwards out, all play big roles. It was just announced Brendan Gallagher has a concussion, so he's going to be out for an undetermined, indefinite period of time. Of course, they've already got injuries to guys like Jonathan Drouin, Yoel Armia, as well as Paul Byron, so they're really depleted up front. So we'll see if Marc Bergevin decides to make any other trades. They do have some salary cap space that they can work with if they want to make some other acquisitions here, but I would imagine if they do, it's not going to be anything that has a longer term contract attached to it. And in the case of the Senators, like I said, they really needed a defenseman, so Reilly works for them. Of course, they're getting Nikita Zaitsev back as well, who was just activated today, so that'll help them. And in the case of the Sabres, it's been rumored for some time. We've talked about it on numerous occasions on this channel when we looked at trade rumors, that they've got really three veteran defensemen over there that Jason Botterill's been looking to move, and now he finally gets one of those contracts off the books and sent out of town. There hasn't been a ton of interest in those defensemen, so the fact he was able to move one even to a division rival speaks volumes about what the market's been like for the guys that it want out of Buffalo. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on these trades. Let me know what do you think of the Habs blue line. Are they better off today than they were yesterday? And do you see any other moves to help with their depleted forward group, considering all the injuries that they're dealing with? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and we'll continue the conversation. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.